Hello, my name is Ahmed Dawood. I'm a senior machine learning engineer, and I'm making this video to share my experience for looking and landing for looking for a job and landing one in less than 3 weeks using ChatGPT. So we all know the normal traditional methods, LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, all of those websites that we use to search for a job. um, Searching for a job is just a numbers game. You need to increase your numbers in order to increase your probability to get an initial interview and then get to the um, next phases of the interview, whether they are technical or otherwise, and then landing an offer at the end. I always Personally, I always work with what I call the 10% rule. So I always assume that out of all the applications I will send out, 10% will send for an initial recruiter interview. Then out of those 10% will go through to the next step or the technical interviews, and then out of those 10% will send me an offer. So for me, it's just a numbers game, and I need to increase my numbers. The first way to do that is already done for you. So there are like lots of great platforms out there. LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, all of them have easy apply functionalities right now. And there are also other frameworks. Greenhouse is amazing. Like you just fill your information one time in one application, and then it's automatically filled for you. So that process is relatively much faster now than before, and that increases the rate at which you apply for jobs significantly. Then we have the other way is to just like find great numbers of jobs. So in my experience, just within 2 weeks, I applied to more than 450 jobs in total. Those are the jobs that satisfied my requirements. So when I tell that to people, some of my colleagues and friends, they are surprised. How could I find 450 jobs? Because usually when you go onto those traditional websites, you find a few jobs, and then you just exhaust all of them, and then you start hitting duplicates, and lots of the jobs on these websites are the same job, but it's posted in different locations. And that's what I initially did. And then when I finished all the jobs I could find on those websites, I decided to try ChatGPT. And that's when I found the real gold mine. So here I will demonstrate how I use ChatGPT to find all these jobs. So let me share my screen here. And here we are. So um, first thing to note here is that the model that really worked with me is the O3 model. I tried the other ones, I tried the 4.0 and the other models, but they were a little bit disappointing. So the O3 model was the one that really worked for me because of its advanced reasoning capabilities. I personally have some reservations when it comes to reasoning with LLMs, but it has a very good use of agentic, like orchestrated use of agentic tools. So let me show you just by example. So what I did is I started, by giving it my resume, and here's my resume that we will use together to find and apply for jobs. Make sure you understand just to be sure that it has the correct context for you and your qualifications, because it's still an LLM. It can still hallucinate, no matter how good it is. So just take a quick skim here to make sure that it's in it doesn't have any inaccurate information. But at the end, you can also give it your LinkedIn profile as well. But anyway, so we make sure that everything is accurate. Now, I wanted to start looking for jobs for me, and I have some, requirements. So I will start by putting here the same request I used 3 weeks ago when I started applying. Um, and let's see what happens. It takes time. The O3 model takes some time to generate the answer, but that time is well invested because it does really cool stuff. So while it's working, I will go through what it does under the hood. So I put here my requirements, and let's just like look at these requirements and see how the benefits I get from using the O3 model. So for example, my first requirement is I'm looking for an ML engineer job. And I was specific. I don't want ML ops engineering. I don't want data engineering, back-end engineering, because sometimes some companies just confuse the titles. So when it comes to ML engineering, it has many different formats and titles that companies call them. Some companies call it AI engineer or machine learning engineer or data scientist or uh, whatever it is, like lots of different titles for the same job. I don't need to include all of that in here, as opposed to traditional job search platforms. So it has enough context to understand that all of these mean the same thing. Um, so this is the first filter. Second filter is the salary. You will put your salary expectations, and what I noticed like it doing during the search is that it does the following. If it scours the web for sources that you've never heard of. It gets you jobs from websites you've never seen in your entire life, and you probably would have never seen. Uh, Sometimes it goes to the company's websites themselves and goes to the career page and gets the jobs from there. It just gets your jobs from all over the place, literally. Um, then if the job description page has the salary range, then fine, it's great. If it's in a different currency than the currency that you provided, it goes automatically without you asking it explicitly to do that. It goes automatically to exchange websites to get the current exchange rate for that currency to your currency, and it does the exchange to make sure that it's within the range for your requirements. The If the job description doesn't include the salary range, it automatically goes to Glassdoor, looks for that company on Glassdoor website and tries to get an average estimate from Glassdoor, and it tells you that I got that from Glassdoor. So just like, yeah, uh, uh, know that it might not be very, very accurate. Um, so that's one great thing it does. It's usually you don't have that functionality on traditional websites. If the job itself on LinkedIn, for example, if the job itself doesn't include the salary, LinkedIn cannot filter uh, that job based on salaries for you. Um, so the next requirement is that I want my job to be 100% remote. I am a remote work guy. I've been working remote for a very, very long time now, even since before COVID. And I'm not ready to go to an office, so that's why I require my jobs to be 100% remote. I don't want any hybrid job. I don't want any on-site job. And it does something really good in that. So now we have like remote filters in all of the major websites. We even have dedicated websites for remote jobs. But the thing is, some websites, sorry, some companies, when they post their jobs, they have conflicting things in the description. So sometimes they write that the job is hybrid, but when you read the description, it's actually a remote job. So ChatGPT, the O3 model, can get you that. It tells you, even though the job title says hybrid, it in the description, it actually mentions that the job is remote. So this is something also very valuable. Now, something that I personally care about is social impact. So I told it to prioritize jobs or companies that have a social impact. Now, this is a filter that you will never find on any, you know, traditional job search website. Um, it ChatGPT has the enough context to understand what social impact is. I mean, understand in a way, because I really don't believe that LLMs understand things in the conventional way that we understand things, but figuratively speaking. So it understands what social impact is, and then it can from the company description, it can correlate that with social impact. And it even recommended things that I would never thought of when I think of the word social impact. I never think of some sectors, and it just opened my eyes on things that I would never consider normally. So that's a very good thing too. So you can put all kinds of filters that you will normally never find on any job website. So it starts curating the lists. It gets you like maybe a few, like up to 10 jobs at a time, unless you specify more. And then you can actually ask it, can you create a CSV with 100 jobs, right? And then it will do that for you. So uh, here are some tips about what I would normally do. What I would do is, because still at the end, like I said before, this is an LLM. It can still hallucinate. It can still get you broken links. It can still get you out of date jobs that are not there anymore. So what I would do is take the company name, go to their career web page, and look for the jobs there. That gives you two benefits. The first one is that you avoid wasting time with hallucination. The second thing is, in some of these companies, or actually in many of them, you can find more than one job that you can apply to. So that can increase your numbers as well. Um, so like you see here, it creates these very detailed recommendations for you, and then you keep doing that, and you ask it to generate a CSV file with 100 jobs, and then when it's finished, you ask it for more, and you can, when you start noticing that it creates duplicates, things that it mentioned before, you can um, you can ask it explicitly to avoid duplicates, and you will notice in the thinking process here, it actually writes a script to deduplicate jobs from the results that it gets for you in every iteration. So using this over in the span of 2 weeks, I found I had access to literally more than 1,000 companies. And from those, I found more than 450 jobs that are suitable for me and satisfy my requirements. And I applied to literally all of them. And then I got many interviews, and I finally landed a very good offer. Um, so yeah, that's how I did it. It's very, very, I mean, I'm not gonna use the traditional job websites again in my job search. This is very, very effective for me. Like I said, it gets me jobs from websites that I've never heard of before. Um, so yeah, again, that's now some people, when I talk to some people and I talk about this, some people think that it's easier for engineers because the market is really good for engineers right now. But that's not really true. It's actually finishing the job here. So that's why I chose a non-engineering profile to do the same thing on. Um, so yeah, now you can download the CSV file from here and do the same thing. Now let's do the same experiment. I'm going to use my friend's profile here, Sean Kennedy, actually like literally the best recruiter I've seen in my entire career. Um, so I'm gonna use his profile. Uh, we are going to use this profile to find um, jobs that match. So make sure to uh, understand it. Okay. I don't have currently access to the resume, so I'm just use the profile. Uh, it will just like do the same thing. It will analyze the profile, get the credentials and qualifications, and from all of that, it will just like understand what jobs might be suitable. Um, so once this is done, let's start writing our next request. So, great. So please start collecting jobs from all possible sources for Sean that are one. Let's say Sean is also interested in 100% remote jobs. Two, on the level of senior or lead or director, because Sean has experience in all of these. And I don't know, let's say very competitive salaries, willing to hire from the UK because Sean lives in the UK. So some companies, even though they are remote, they sometimes have restrictions about countries. So I don't know Sean's requirements when he looks for jobs, but I'm just assuming some things here. So let's say we took a look at the summary of his LinkedIn profile, and it all looks good. So let's see. So this is Sean is a recruiter. So he's not an engineer, and I'm using his profile to prove that for all different types of jobs, you can use the O3 model on ChatGPT to find jobs. Because, like I said, you can go on LinkedIn, you can search for jobs for a recruiter and do your filters, and then you see, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 jobs, and you feel like, oh, there are not lots of opportunities out there. But then, like I said, this doesn't get from the traditional sources only. This gets from crazy number of websites that you've never heard of before. And it even goes to the company's websites as well, to their career pages. So, like I said, it takes some time, but it's really worth the wait because it just gets you things from all over the place. Uh, but then I did that before, and it will get lots of jobs. And then again, you can ask it to create a CSV file with 100 or 200 jobs. And like I said, I always advise to do the same. Um, Take the company name, go to their career page. Sometimes you find that this job is no longer available, but you can find other jobs that might be interesting to you that you can apply to. Uh, so while it's doing that, I'm going to talk. So we tested it for engineering. We're testing it right now for recruitment or talent acquisition. Now let's also think of something more niche that some people would assume it has very, very little opportunities in the market. So uh, I worked in my career, I worked with bioscientists. And one thing that is commonly believed that bioscientists in the industry have very little opportunities because of their niche domain. Engineers can work in all different types of companies, while bioscientists can only work in very, very specific markets. So I'm not going to use a specific profile here because I don't have permission to use one of my scientist friends' profiles because of various reasons. But let's just do a more generic experiment once this is done. So while this is working, let me open another one here, and let's do this. So we have let's look for jobs for a biomedical Scientist with a background in bioengineering and a little data science in the biomedical domain. So this is a very, very niche thing. So let's see how it's gonna go. So let's start with 50 jobs. Okay. Let us put some requirements, 100% remote to let's put competitive salaries, three, let's say uh you know, yeah, I think that that should be enough. Yeah, let's put senior level. Okay. So let's go back here. And as you can see, it generated some stuff, generated here about 6 jobs because we didn't specify a number. So it usually goes to less than 10. But same thing, we can ask it to create a CSV with 100 jobs. I did that with Sean's profile before, and it does the job. So let's do this actually. So let's say uh, generate 50, or not generate actually, find 50 more jobs. So yeah, it after this is done, you will see the list of jobs, and then you can ask it to generate more and more, and then it leads you to again to the websites I told you about when I said it gets you jobs from websites that you've never heard of before. You go to those websites and do your search on those websites as well. It's just like it exponentially increases the number of jobs that you can apply to. So yeah, that's all the advice I have so far. Like I said, it worked for me. I used this to find jobs for some friends who are not engineers, managers, product owners, scientists, and recruiters. And it works. It just works. Again, like there is a little bit of a hallucination sometimes, but just take the name of the companies that it finds for you, take the websites that it gets those jobs from, go do your search there, and then if you do that, if you dedicate some time for that every day for a couple of weeks, you will find yourself applying to hundreds and hundreds of jobs. And if you apply that 10% rule that I always apply myself, um, that increases your possibility to get interviews and then get offers at the end. Um, so yeah, this will just take some time, but for now, yeah, that's the advice I have. That's the thing that worked really good for me and others as well. So I just hope that this will be very beneficial for people, and good luck in your job search.